with Red versus Valhalla team. Let's actually have a quick look at both of our teams here. Red, obviously one of the stronger teams from Season 1. They've done pretty well in Season 2. They are 3 for 2 at the moment, which puts them pretty much middle of the board, essentially. We are almost halfway through Season 2 now, so going to be super important for both these teams to kind of get things going. Valhalla team, one of the top 3 teams at the moment. Their current position is 2nd overall throughout everything else, so kind of cool to see them here doing so well this season. They're a mix of Mexican and South Korean players now, so kind of cool to see them here. They did partner up with Clan Wiko, so that's where they've got all their South Koreans from. But let's have a look at our rosters for today. We're going to start with a ZVT between Eriador and Forever. So that means I've got to change his race after this game, but that's fine. I can do that as we start. We're going to have a PVZ between Horitas and HCS. We're going to have a ZVP between Fake Finn and DK. And we're going to have a PvP between Maven and Last, which should be a lot of fun there on Carthage 3. So overall, we've got some good games coming your way. This is just the first of 3 series as well. We've got some of the fan favorite teams playing today as well, so going to be super important to get these games done. Now let's actually have a look at the map we are going to be playing on. Of course, that's always the kind of staging ground for the competition to begin with. Now, Multiverse is going to be map number 1. 4-player map, obviously 4 spawns. You can have close by air, you can have cross positions, and close by ground. If you have close by ground, you can block off the assimilators in the middle, which makes it a little bit harder to go through. Now, obviously, this is going to be a ZVT, so don't worry about the map stats so much. And if we have a look at the player history, we'll be able to see what's going on there. So we've got Eriador fighting here for Red. Obviously, I've nicknamed him the Elder Kai of Brood War, given the fact he's been around for so long and he's played for so many years and everyone knows who it is. And Eriador, also known as Liquid Drone, if you didn't know that. He's been doing pretty well. 57% win rate overall. He is 2 for 3 against Terran, and that is with Zerg, so he's won a lot of his recent games, though 4 out of 6 isn't too bad. And his opponent fighting for VT is going to be Forever. Now, VT has actually lost his last 2 games, but he has won 4 of the other ones against Zerg. He's currently 3 wins, 1 loss. Obviously, he's not played too many games overall, but gonna be cool to see him here in game number 1 against Eriador on Multiverse. Okay, starting us off here in the top middle position, we do have the one, the only fighting for Valhalla team in the pink. From South Korea, it's Forever. And his opponent spawning over here in the top right hand, oh, I guess this is the top right hand position technically, in the lime green. Fighting for Red, it is Eriador, hailing from Norway. Now you'll just have to excuse me for 1 second. I'm just quickly setting all the overlay back up so it looks good. It's one of the annoying things if I mess something in the overlay, like if someone race picks, which is why I hate race picking, I still haven't managed to find a way to actually deal with it properly in my overlay. So one of the things I've been working on the last like 2 years and I still haven't managed to get it right, but we'll get there. Obviously the annoying thing is oh, we got it in the end. You get to see their average game duration and everything. But we're going to have a gas opening here from Forever. He's going to wall in as well. Now, it's not a full wall. He did build this a little bit further back, but this means he can get an SCV out to scout. Very, very important. And as Cadenti pointed out, there was actually a 9 drone scout, so He definitely wants to confirm what's going on, maybe worried a little bit about being cheesed. Doesn't have to worry about that, obviously, as we know now. But you can never be too sure when you're playing against Terran. Okay, so now I've caught up with the overlay, things should look a little bit more normal. But Eriador, obviously a very strong foreign player, Forever has been doing really well, one of the top performers here for Valhalla team. So I'm kind of excited to see both of them against each other. Now, as I said before the game, Eriador has been around for a very, very long time in terms of just playing Brood War, understanding Brood War. He was one of the people that helped teach Artosis what he knows now as well. Artosis came out and said that on one of the Pylon shows, which is kind of cool. And essentially, I mean, Drone has played very actively all the time, I think. I believe he may have had a little bit of a break for StarCraft 2, but not as much as many people did. And essentially, he's seen it all. So not only can he play modern styles, if he wants to, he can throw out these kind of older styles and really surprise opponents. Now, he is going to go for 3 hatch into lair here. This, I believe that was actually, was that hatch before the... No, so the hatch was after the pool, but it was 3 hatch before gas. Which is kind of a weird thing to do, but when you go for that early drone scout, you see the gas, you know that there's not realistically going to be much that Forever's going to be able to do about it. And look at this, he's going to wall in with a hatchery, just making it perfectly safe. Now Forever is building his first vulture. Now he's actually going to cancel the vulture and go immediately into a machine shop. Very, very important that you do this, because essentially when you scout the sunken and the wall, you know your vulture without speed is going to do absolutely nothing. So we're going to have a starport coming in, likely going to go for mines off of this machine shop and vultures, and then go for a vulture drop most likely. But obviously with the lair coming in, if you get a spire on time, that could be a little bit more dangerous to deal with. Now that SCV did a surprising amount of damage to this sunken colony, but does go down to the Zerglings, kind of important as well. Now of course it is Friday, so the start of the weekend. It's always good to get to this point in the week because it feels so damn good. Now we've got a Wraith coming in instead of a dropship. This is kind of important to get the scout off, and obviously you do have a little bit of a window to do some damage in terms of everything going on. So we'll have to see. Hopefully you guys have nice plans for the weekend. Me, I'm going to spend a bit of time with my family, which is always fun. I don't get to spend much time with my dad too much anymore, and since my mum passed away at the beginning of this year, it's kind of been a little bit difficult, but gonna see each other go bowling tomorrow. Last time we went bowling, I somehow got 5 strikes in a single frame, and I've never been able to do that before, and I probably won't be able to do it again, so I'm kind of excited to see how well I do. Now, second gas coming in, so this is going to be a muteless play here. Now, obviously, the Spire is not on the way just yet. The Hydralisk Den came in first, which obviously... Oh, wow, he's actually going to skip Spire and go straight into Queen's Nest. Now, is this Wraith going to see this? Because if he does, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult for Forever, for Eriador even, because obviously the Queens are kind of like the... Or Hive Tech this early is super, super fast, but... If you look at what Forever is actually doing, he's going for a dropship behind this. He's still only on 1 base. And this is a very, very weird TVZ at the moment. Now, if this drop comes in and Eriador does not build any additional units, this is going to be really difficult to hold on to. And look, he's mass droning. He does have a Spore coming in, but the Spore's not really going to help you against these 4 vultures. And I mean, this could be a really painful moment in this game for Eriador now, because despite the fact he's droned up a ridiculous amount, 1 Hydra is not going to defend your mineral line against 2 vultures. Now here we go, the vultures immediately going into target fire down this Hydralisk. There's no drop tech or anything. Oh my goodness. Okay, targeting the mine, super, super important. Trying to get a good drill on those vultures here. Does get one of them. But just look at how many drones there are that have gone down already. Now, obviously, he did drone up to the nth degree, so he does have a ton of them. But he can't really afford to be losing them like this. And Eriador still only now has 3 Hydras. The 3 Vultures have done so much damage. Just 8 kills on that single Vulture there, and he's just going to pick up and go home. And behind this, he's going for his command center. He's probably going to add on a second factory and an armory, unless this is going to be an academy. No, Science Facility coming in as well, so any possible Spire switch, which we of course know is not coming, is not going to be able to do anything against Irradiate. And the fast Irradiate is going to help against any possible early tech here from Eriador. If he goes for Queens, Irradiate's pretty good against that. You can get EMP as well. If he goes into Fast Hive, obviously Irradiate very useful against Defilers. And Eriador is in a pretty poor position right now in the game. Now, looks like Forever is going to go into a second Rax here, so we are going to see a little bit of a bio switch over behind this, going into +1 upgrade as well. Weirdly enough, there's still no Academy. That's obviously going to be super important to add on if you want to go for bio, because you do need those medics. And here we go, there's going to be Queens. Now, Eriador is the one kind of player who makes Queens work, and I have no idea how he does it. It's obviously better against mech openings, but he's probably, if he scouts out that it's going to be bio, he'll probably get Ensnare. And Ensnare is surprisingly good against bio. Like, it's not used very often, but when it does get used, it's pretty cool. Now, the trouble is, Forever sees the Queens, so he knows that Queens are now completely in the game. They're beyond a possibility at this point. He saw there's no Hive even, so he knows he doesn't have to worry about Defilers. So are we just going to see EMP come in? That would actually be a really good play. Canopy coming in, 3rd barracks. Realistically, you'd want to add more barracks as Forever right now, but he doesn't have the best economy right now, so not really possible. The Wraith's still alive, 5 kills overall. I think that was mainly Overlords, which is kind of ridiculous. Eriador actually got supply blocked a couple of times throughout that, which obviously helped his Vultures out quite a bit. So we do have Broodling coming in for the Queens. Now, this is going to be good because this bio push is going to be supplemented by the siege tanks, which are really going to be the main damage dealers this early, because +1 attack is so late, so +2 and +3 are a very long way away. And the bio, obviously the bio count's not going to be super high or anything, so okay, the other day we saw Hydras against bio. It did not work very well, but the situation in this game is entirely different. Now, can Eriador use the fact that he had a semi-decent economy early on to do a big bust here? It's going to be so difficult. But if anyone can bust through this, it's going to be him. Now, the Queens are going to come in. There's no EMP, I don't believe. He's actually going to get Radiate first, so he's not going to be able to EMP these Queens. So 4 of these tanks are going to get Broodling. Let's actually zoom out just a little bit. He's going to spread them a little bit as well, because he wants to make sure. There goes 1. The Hydra's moving in. The Mine to the front. Oh my god, these could be deadly. The Queen's actually getting focused down. 2 of the Broodlings have gone down as well. And the Hydras are getting on top of the tanks. There's not many medics here, but there's so much bio compared to the Hydras. And this attack looks unfortunately doomed to fail. More Hydras coming in, but not enough to deal with the bio reinforcements. The tanks finally went down, but that was certainly not the best break-in by Eriador, but still, he has units. Let's see if he's able to break through this. The Marines coming out the bunker. Looks like he just has enough to hold on, but obviously this is just wave number 1. We have a Queen here with some energy. No Ensnare, I believe, has been researched yet, and another Queen went down, so certainly not the best. Now, with only 21 drones at the moment, that means Eriador has built another building somewhere. He's building a hatchery down here in the bottom middle, so we'll have to see if that comes into play. There is a Queen. One of the Hydras gets irradiated. Does need to be careful. He's running all of his units in, and they're running in around this irradiated Hydralisk. Not the best play from Eriador, and GG. Eriador taps out and Forever takes game number 1. Okay, well, that was unfortunate there for Aridor. He tried to do a big bust, thinking his opponent was going into mech. He didn't actually get to... I don't think he ever confirmed that it was a bio switch, so maybe if there was just mech units there, that could have been a little bit different. But unfortunately for us, that did end in an Aridor loss. Now, the only reason why I say unfortunately is we finally got to see some queens, we saw some broodlings, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to win the game. So, looks like Fisheye actually subbed in for Horatoss, so I'll update that in my overlay as well. And we'll be back with game number 2 after this. Neo Arkanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League from back then, one of the early OSLs. And it's a semi-island map. I think one of the first of its kind that got major use after about the year 2004. It's one of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen another map like it. There's temples and power generators absolutely everywhere, making it very difficult to get through the middle of the map. But air units, of course, going to be very important here. The one problem all three races are going to have is they're very easy to take second and third bases. They both have gas, but they are blocked by those chrysalises, so it makes it important to build a few aggressive units early on in order to get that second and third gas as soon as you can. Important thing to note, if you do open up that center, the rush distance is very small. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for set number 2 of, well, it's set 1, game number 2. I don't know whether you call these sets or what, but it's confusing. There's a lot of different words for a lot of different things that all mean the same thing, so just a big shout out as well, just quickly, to our sponsors, Liquipedia, of course, for donating $500 to the initial prize pool. They're going to be doing some interviews with some people coming up shortly, and they will be doing a bracket contest when we get to the playoffs. And then, of course, a big shout out as well to Maturino. If you hit that link over in the chat right now, you can add the code LSTPL to add 50 cents to the prize pool, completely free. And overall, we have 200 of these codes to use, so we can add an additional $100 to the prize. And I know for sure there is a ton of those codes that haven't been used yet. So if you do go click that while we're in between games, that is the best way you can help without having to spend money rather than having to spend money, because that doesn't make any sense. But let's introduce our next map and our next set of players, and then we'll get into game number 2. So starting us off here in map number 2 is going to be Whiteout. Whiteout, obviously a very cool 3-player map from ASL Season 7. It's kind of cool in PvZ as well. We've only seen 4 of them. This map hasn't had too many games played on it so far, but having Protoss 3-1 is kind of surprising. This map is kind of awkward to wall in, so obviously Hydra Busts are quite powerful here. But let's see how our Protoss player for red does, and see if he can make the wall work. Now, the last game he played was back in March this year, so he hasn't played for red for a while, and he did actually lose against Eon Zerg, which is kind of... I mean, it's not really a surprise that he lost to Eon, because Eon is kind of like on another level. But Fisheye still a very good player. 42% win ratio overall, certainly middle of the table in terms of players, and he's currently 1 for 2 against opponents, so we'll have to see how he does up against HCS here. And thanks Althulu, saying my beard looks good. I'm actually going to trim it because it's getting a little bit too long for me. I don't know whether I should trim it and keep it long, or if I should like trim it short, but it doesn't matter too much. I'll figure that out after the cast. But HCS, not played too many games, won one, lost one. He did lose against the only Protoss he's played against, so not really too much I can say there. Just want to say a big thanks to Lawrence White for the follow. Means a lot, man. And let's get into game number 2. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom middle 6 o'clock position, we do have the blue Protoss fighting for red, all the way from Germany. It's Fisheye. And starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have the red Zerg. This is going to be confusing. Fighting from South Korea for Valhalla team. It's HCS. And we have a 5 pool coming in from HCS. So, trying to abuse the fact that we're going to have a little bit of an awkward wall here for Fisheye. Fisheye, luckily enough, going for a Forge Fast Expand most likely here. Scouting immediately in the correct direction. Could very well save Fisheye in this game. And I mean, this is pretty much the perfect situation for Fisheye to be in. It's going to give him the ability to get his Forge up, as well as most likely at least one cannon. And at least he'll know he oh, HCS is wasting one of his only drones to try and look like he's going to expand. And Fisheye's taking the bait. Oh, those precious seconds could mean the world here. And he is going to get in as the eggs morph into lings. He is going to be so confused. I wish we had like doom zooms, because there would be a zoom in on his face right now of seeing that pool and the ling spawning, because that is not something you want to be seeing as a Protoss player so late. But the Forge is on the way. Let's see how many probes he does pull to try and deal with this. Pylon's coming from the main, so maybe he's going to choose to try and cannon in his main instead. The scouting probe is actually still alive, which is super important. And HCS didn't actually know where his opponent is just yet, so he drone scouted with one of his only drones, and he's only got 5 of them, so he is super all in right now. This is not the economical 5 pull that the CPU does. This is 100% all in. Now let's see how many cannons Fisheye is going to build in his main. He's going to build a gateway and a single cannon. Is that going to be enough? Are the Zerglings going to take the bait? No, they're not. They're going to jump straight into the main. And let's see how much damage they can do. Looks like they're going to turn tail and run. They know fighting amongst the pigeons and the probes is going to be very difficult. Yeah, this is definitely awkward. Obviously, losing your Forge going to be super annoying. Adding on an additional pylon should really add another cannon on just in case. But obviously he feels like he's got a really good economy. It's going to be very difficult for the lings to actually get on top of this cannon. He'll just probe block most likely. And I mean, HCS, he's starting to drone up behind this. Realistically, his lings haven't died, but they've not really done too much damage. They've killed a Forge. Whoop-de-doo, that's not going to do too much. And we're going to have double gateway coming in behind this. And a 3rd pylon. Okay, obviously Zealot's super strong against lings, and when the Zerg's economy is so far shot down, it's going to be very difficult for HCS to be able to deal with 2-gate Zealot. Now, usually 2-gate Zealot is kind of semi-all-in, but the fact is, Fisheye's taken no damage to his economy. All he has to do is hit HCS before his economy gets going again, and he is going to have the perfect timing here. And obviously the bigger the Zealot count grows to, the harder it is going to be for these lings. Now the lings are going to scout out with the Overlord that there is at least a couple of Zealots, so he is going to pull back. And look at HCS, he's going to try and play super greedy behind here. Okay, 4 Zealots going to be pushing out onto the middle of the map. Very, very important timing here. If he can clear these Lings without losing a Zealot, he is going to be so unbelievably far ahead. I mean, he's pretty unbelievably far ahead anyway, but like, you kind of don't want to lose these Zealots because it is important you have them. The more Zealots you keep alive, the harder it's going to be for the Zerg when you get to their base. And the harder it is for them to kind of respond. Now, this Zealot, I have no idea what this guy's doing. He was really glitching out there. Now, one of the Zealots actually getting caught off guard, getting surrounded. Nice moves by HCS. Losing 2 Lings for 1 Zealot is a definitely good trade for the Zerg to be taking here. But when is Fisheye actually just going to opt to push across the map? That is going to be the big moment, because he is going to have like an overwhelming number of Zealots here. Oh man, I should have been on D&D. There we go. At least they're being respectful there. That's actually my IRL friends, and they're having fun. Usually it's much worse. Okay, Fisheye pushing across the map here with a big number of Zealots. Should have Nexus coming up shortly behind this as well, but realistically, he doesn't need a Nexus to win this game. He just needs to control his Zealots properly against the Zerglings. And I would get your 6-minute cursor modes ready, because I think genuinely this game isn't going to last too much longer. But there is a Hydralisk out now, which makes it a little bit more difficult for the Zealots. Obviously, the timing came a little bit late. But he should be able to get this third hatchery. Some of the Zealots actually getting bugged out on the eggs is a little bit problematic, but there is another couple of Zealots coming in here as well to supplement this. The hatchery is still going to survive for the time being. Really should try and trap these Lings coming out, but... Oh, it looks like is HCS going to be able to hold on to this? This would be ridiculous if he can hold on here, but speed is done. There are so many Lings, and Fisheye does not have any Zealots anymore. How did HCS hold on to this? Obviously, he is still behind, but this is what HCS needed. He's got a semi-decent drone count now in the main and the natural. And I mean, Fisheye, he's stuck on one base. He's just getting a second base up, but there's no wall at the front. The forge isn't done. There's no cannons up here. And if these Lings run past, they could do some serious damage into the main. Yeah, now if Fisheye loses this game, he's most likely going to be kicking himself, because honestly, there shouldn't be a reason why he should lose this. He was so far ahead from the beginning. And, I mean, he's still ahead. Like, let's not get it twisted. He's not behind in any sense of the word. He's got a Corsair now, which is going to be able to scout out exactly what HCS is doing. But HCS has found an avenue back into the game. He's saved his third hatchery. He's got a good economy going. He's got Hydras now. He's going to have Lair coming up soon after this, most likely. And honestly, I think he should just build the Lair here, because it'll give the hatchery some more health. Okay, now we're going to have the tables turned a little bit, because we're going to have Hydralisks pushing back against Fisheye. And in these positions, the walling is very difficult, so there's not a huge number of cannons anywhere, so he can't spam cannons to survive. He's going to have to go into Templar Archives, but that's very far away, only just now getting the Citadel, and there is a ton of Hydralisks coming over, and it looks like HCS is going to try and sneak a fourth hatchery as well. And if he manages to get hold of that, that is going to be so unbelievably strong. And there we go, coming up. There's absolutely nothing Fisheye can do against this. And it looks like HCS's greed paid off. He's going to go into Lair. He's got a massive amount of units outside his opponent's base. Obviously no Overlord drop or anything like that. But here we go. He's going to push the button here. He's going to go in, snipes one of the cannons, pulls back. And now he's going to get a better engagement on the Zealots, which do not have +1, and they do not have speed either. And he's going to get the Forge. And if he gets this Forge, +1 is going to be delayed even more. And that is not a position Fisheye can really afford to be in. He's going to head back here and try and kill some of the Overlords. There's obviously no Hydralisk back at home just yet, so the Corsair should be able to stay alive, but this +1 is the main story here. He's obviously not going to be able to add any more cannons either. And it looks like he didn't even get the one Overlord. Overlords are pretty strong. And Althulu, I've actually casted with Cadenzi before, and I'm hoping when she's back in the UK for a bit, maybe she'll cast with me again, but she's definitely not been banned from casting. She's banned herself from casting, if anything. Thing is, you don't have time to cast when you're raking in so many balloons. Like, working real hard as an Africa streamer, when you're making so much money, like, you've got no room to fit a microphone to cast with. You've just got to fit it in with your stacks of balloons. It's kind of cool. Okay, it looks like Fisheye gonna break out. He's got speed, and speed obviously very, very good. But without +1, this timing is not gonna do all of that much, I don't believe. And here we go, he's gonna try and get on top of the Hydras. But there's so many of them by now, there's such a massive economy. I mean, Fisheye's doing a really, really good job microing this, getting a ton of additional damage down on these Hydras. Wow, is he gonna break through these? How are Zealots so strong? I have no idea how he did this, but great micro by Fisheye. Gonna trade very, very efficiently with the Zerg. But is it efficient enough? The lair did actually come up. Wait. Yeah, I thought he went double lair for some reason, but the Zealots have been cleaned up. There's a lair at the front, so this hatchery is closer to living than it is to dead. Obviously, a little bit later in the game, it could be more difficult, but Overlord speed is done. The 4th hatchery is done. 45 drones. Outnumbering the Protoss' economy right now is very, very difficult. And actually having to kill one of his own cannons to get his units out. Now, is Storm finished? It very well should be. If it isn't, obviously that's going to be completely horrific for Fisheye. If he doesn't have Storm, he's going to have so much trouble now. Looks like Fisheye going to go into Robo, going to go into Observers behind this most likely. Now, there is a DT up here. Maybe this DT can do a critical amount of damage, but it's going to be hard. Look, there's so many Hydras with Overlords. And there's even an Overlord down here as well. Oh, unlucky. So he doesn't manage to get any damage done. Obviously, the Lurker and the Sunken combo doing so much. And oh my god, there's a single Lurker outside of his base, which is doing a ton of damage. Huge thank you to Walt for the host, man. Hopefully your stream went well. We've got IRK coming up after this series, so people will hopefully get to see you play. I can't remember if you played in week 6, but I'm sure you must have done. You're kind of one of the mainstays of the IRK roster now. In terms of this game, we've got HCS going up to Hive. Now, bearing in mind this game started with a failed 5 pool, and he somehow clawed his way back into this. A ton of stack defense everywhere. Spire coming in, double upgrades, going in for melee, so most likely going to go for Ultralisks behind this. And that's going to be a very, very powerful play because we have a lot of Templar here, and Ultras really don't care about Storm. And obviously the melee upgrades do very, very well for Adrenalines as well. Okay, this is where things get a little bit slower. Obviously, neither player can really do too much. Unfortunately, a High Templar being sacrificed on the Lurker. Looks like he moved it a little bit too far forward. But does get it taken down by the Dragoons. Now, the problem is Fisheye has to try and secure a 3rd base at some point. And the way this game is going, I'm not seeing that happening anytime soon, because we're going to have a 5-base Zerg against a 2-base, maybe 3-base Protoss. But it's only going to be 3 gas. This base isn't super big. The minerals are actually really low on this base. The gas is kind of lower by 500. Not a really small gas or anything like that, but... Oh wow, it looks like he's found the 4th base over here. I don't know how he saw this, but he's going to run in. Nice block on the ramp with this Lurker Egg, making it a little bit more difficult for the Zealots to get in, but they are going to get in regardless. A lot of units coming in from the back here. Nice storm on top of all of the Lings there. And oh no, wait. Did he accidentally shoot his own observer? Or was it a Scourge that killed it? I think it was his own observer, but okay, there we go. Nice storm, unfortunately running out before the Lings can get, or before the drones get in it. And it looks like HCS has held onto the base. The hatchery getting very, very low though. Nice positioning of these Zealots. Honestly, I kind of feel like attacking the drones would be more efficient, but he is going to try and suicide everything for this hatchery. If he can knock the... Oh my god, he's going to morph it into a lair behind this as well. He knows that all he has to do is keep the base alive. We've got another Observer going to get sniped here by a Scourge and Overlord combo if the... Oh my god, this is so close. Oh, he's not going to get it. Okay, but this is so many Lings. They do have Adrenaline now. They are going to be completely obliterating Fisheye's army here. He's trying to take a third base. He is going to be able to get it up for the time being. Now, there is a big counterattack coming into this top left base, but unfortunately, there's no drones here. Why does he keep focusing the hatchery? He's not going to kill that. He needs to kill the drones instead. And he's just going to lose all of his Zealots without doing any damage. Very, very oh no! Oh no, he's targeting his own... Okay, oh, he did notice. That could have been so bad. I mean, it's bad anyway, because essentially, if the Lings run in, that Nexus is almost dead. Oh, Fisheye. Damn, that's really, really unfortunate. Now, there are a good number of High Templar out here. There's no Archons, though, and there's not really a major answer to all of these Lings. I mean, just look at how much stuff HCS has. Fisheye played valiantly in the early game, but unfortunately, the tables have definitely turned in this series because, I mean, HCS has gone from having to really work hard to win the game to really work hard to try and throw the game. Like, losing this game from here in this position as Zerg is very, very difficult. Now, we've got a second layer, obviously keeping that base alive. There's a hive up here. We've got triple upgrades coming in, 2-1 on the Lurkers, 1-1 on the melee. We've only got 2-0 for the Protoss ground as well, because his Forge got taken out twice in a row. And I mean, all this really needs from HCS is one big drop into the main, and it's pretty much game over now. Oh, this isn't good. He's going to try and shell drop. No, he loses both of the High Templar as well, and the shuttle. Everything that could go wrong for Fisheye is going wrong, and that's so unfortunate for him. This is his debut game in the STPL after a very long break, so it's a little bit unfortunate to see it going this way, but unfortunately, sometimes the way games work, it just doesn't work out. Now, a lot of Lings coming in behind here. The already damaged Nexus is going to go down almost immediately to these Lings. The cannons being forced down. The nice probe drill actually keeping the Nexus alive a lot longer than he maybe should have done. But there we go. The Lings are going to target fire onto the Nexus. The Nexus goes down. A lot of the probes have gone down as well. We've got a Zerg almost doubling the supply of the Protoss player now. And especially in workers anyway. And yeah, this is definitely not looking winnable. Even Plague coming in. Plague obviously going to be very, very strong against this Protoss army. There's not much storm energy left. Some storms going down on the Lurkers, storming his own observer by accident. And this is going to be the final dying breaths here of Fisheye in this game. Auf Wiedersehen to Fisheye as well. A little bit unfortunate, but this is the way it goes in PvZ sometimes, and HCS just has infinite stuff right now. He has up to 6 bases now. They're all fully mining. He's on 65 drones, and GG. Fisheye taps out. And HCS wins game number 2. Okay, now Bonneth coming to Fisheye's defense a little bit, saying we can't see the lag in the replay. Of course, we don't know what turn rate the game was played on, but I know most games, as far as I'm aware in the STPL, get paid at turn rate 16 and above. So hopefully there wasn't too much lag for the players. I know it does happen sometimes. That is one of the side effects of having a global team league. So We're going to go into map number 3, which is going to be Neo Arkanoid with a ZBP when we get back after this. Hello everyone, Kicks here. Neo Arkanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League from back then, one of the early OSLs. And it's a semi-island map. I think one of the first of its kind that got major use after about the year 2004. It's one of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen another map like it. There's temples and power generators absolutely everywhere, making it very difficult to get through the middle of the map. The air units, of course, going to be very important here. The one problem all three races are going to have is the very easy to take second and third bases. They both have gas, but they are blocked by those chrysalises, so it makes it important to build a few aggressive units early on in order to get that second and third gas as soon as you can. Important thing to note, if you do open up that center, the rush distance is very small. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 3 between Red and Valhalla team. Let's quickly go into the map and then we can figure out where we're going from there, because it's going to be Neo Arkanoid. You just saw a little bit of a map introduction video there, so hopefully I don't need to go into this too much. It is going to be a ZVP. Zerg are currently 3-1 up over Protoss on this map, so it's going to help our Zerg player out here as we introduce both of our players. Starting us off for Red, we are going to have Fake Finn. He is going to be our Zerg player here. It's kind of cool to see him. He has been helping out a lot with the Liquipedia page for STPL, so if you want to help him out, you can. Because obviously Ziggy and Fake Finn are pretty much doing everything with Liquipedia for me. So if you want to help out, join the STPL Discord. You can type in !Discord to join the Discord channel. And you can help him out, but I've not seen him play, so I have no idea what to expect from him. But his opponent going to be DK. DK, not the strongest of the players on Valhalla team, only a 25% win rate in 4 games, so obviously 1 out of 4. In terms of the matchup, he is 1 for 2, so can't really say too much from that. Obviously a very small sample size. As we get into game number 3, it's Fake Finn versus DK. Okay, starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have the lime green Zerg fighting for Red. From Germany, it's Fake Finn. Is this Germany? Yeah. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left hand side, we have from South Korea fighting for Valhalla team. It's DK. Now, as usual, I still don't know if it's DK for Donkey Kong or if it's DK for Death Knight or if it's DK for something else, but I like to assume that he's just a big fan of Donkey Kong. Now, it is Neo Arkanoid. Now, obviously, in the map introduction, you would have seen the sheer number of neutral buildings that block everything. You see the chrysalis here, which block the expansion, so you do kind of have to kill those before you can expand properly. Also DK for Drift King, that would actually be really sick. I mean, you wouldn't really call yourself DK for that. Dollar Knight, so it's incomplete. Yeah, DK is actually a massive Initial D fan, and he just, he blasts out Eurobeat just while he's playing. Oh wait, that's me. I guess it could be a Korean name as well. don't ruin my fun. It's Donkey Kong. He's the leader of the bunch, and you know him well. And he's finally back to kick some tail, man. That's how it goes. Now, Neo Arkanoid usually is very passive at the beginning of the game. Both players usually go for very quick expansions. Looks like we are going to have DK teching up here a little bit first. Now, one base Reaver is not beyond the realms of possibility here. Obviously, early tech kind of is the ultimate counter to mass greed. Now, we have seen builds where our Zerg players have just, and our Protoss players have just built either 2 gateways or 2 hatcheries and just spammed Lings or Zealots and actually broken through the middle of the map and won the game. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that here, but with this Cybernex core coming up and no look at an expansion just yet, I think we are likely going to see a Robo here. Now, obviously going for a Cyber core, obviously going for a Citadel could be quite good as well. DTs do a ton of damage to the neutral buildings, but it's very likely that FakeFin is going to have most of his overlords close to home, so doing massive DT damage is going to be very difficult. Now, it's actually going to be a Stargate on one base. Now, is this going to be for scouts, or is it just going to be for Corsairs to scout? That is the question that we always have to ask ourselves as we get into a game. Now, this is the weirdest third hatchery placement I have seen on this map. Usually you would see it here and some Lings would kill the Chrysalis and you build a 4th hatchery here, but I mean, you can mine the gas from here, so I guess that's something. You can also mine the gas quite efficiently from here as well. Now, usually this would be 1 pixel over, but c'est la vie. Okay, so it is going to be 1 base Corsair for the time being. Going to expand behind this. Now, obviously, if you go Corsair this quickly, it's going to be very difficult for the Zerg to really be able to deal with it. So, let's see when exactly FakeFin's going to tech up. And if so, what he's going to tech up to. Now, killing the temples, not the kind of reactive play that I thought I would see from FakeFin. Obviously, killing these is going to be important to get your Lings through the middle of the map, but when you're trying to expand behind this, you really do need to kill the Chrysalis and go into 2 more hatcheries, but looks like, unfortunately, DK going to miss the 1 Overlord here in the bottom right. He should be able to see the one in the top left, and the trouble is, like, FakeFin doesn't have any anti-air. He's got no Hydralisk in. He has got nothing. It looks like this is actually going to be a 3-hatch Ling all-in. Speed is going to be done soon. And look how quickly these power generators die to Lings. It's kind of ridiculous. And this is like the tables are turning again because you're building Corsairs, and it's kind of like watching me ladder against Zerg where I go Valkyries against Hydra openers. You have these amazing units that, yes, they can kill the Overlords, but when you have 30 Lings in your base, what are you going to do about it? This is Dark Holiday style, man. Just get all those Lings out there. And look, the Corsair is going to scout this. He knows there's a lot of Lings running through the middle. And FakeFin does know where his opponent is. But he's not pushing through the right way. This is definitely not where you want to go because you're going to lead yourself with another one. Just push here. Okay, that's what he's going to do. I guess he's just keeping his options open a little bit later on. Oh wow, no, don't break through this temple. It'll take you forever. Just go through the main area. Look at this, DK. He only has 2 Zealots. What are 2 Zealots going to do against this many Lings? Okay, there is another 2. But he's got some cannons coming in. They're not really going to do anything. Why is he not pushing through these middle temples? It's going to take a year to break through this. This is not where you want to go through. Okay, it looks like maybe some indecisiveness is going to cause some problems for FakeFin. He's massively supply blocked. He cannot add any additional Lings to this. And just look at how slowly these Lings are killing this. He's not going to be able to break through this. Finally, he's going to take down this temple here. And this is the move he needs to make. He needs to bring all of his Lings over, and he needs to make something happen fast. Now, there's no additional buildings coming in from FakeFin. He's using all of his attention on these Lings. His APM has dropped considerably because I think he's just wondering what to do right now. And he's going to push forward, going to see if he can get on the cannon. But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to do this. A lot of his links still left over here with the Selnaga Temple. And I definitely think this is going to be the last moments in this game for FakeFin. He's tried to build a ton of overlords. They're going to die immediately. And he's even more supply blocked than he was before. And FakeFin's build has unfortunately only faked himself out here, as he is 100% going to lose this game from here. Now these 3 Corsairs going Corsair on 1 base turned out to be the best decision of DK's life in this game, because if he didn't have these Corsairs right now, this would be a very different situation. And this temple is still not down, so not looking good. But DK doing an incredibly good job in this game. He's got 2 bases up now, going into a Citadel. Now this is a 2nd core, so he's going to go into double air upgrades. This is kind of weird, but I guess when you're so far ahead, you may as well do. And I mean, FakeFin can't even build any overlords anymore. This is the position he's got himself into. Lings have got into the main again, but there's a ton of zealots here. There's a ton of pylons. There's a ton of cannons. GG. FakeFin taps out, and DK takes game number 3. Now that's obviously one of the weirder games. Now FakeFin most certainly looks to be one of the weaker players on Red's roster. This is his debut game as well, so there's a lot of pressure. It's kind of difficult to kind of go into a place where maybe you've never really played before in that kind of setting. He runs the beginner StarCraft League, which is really cool. Everyone should sign up to that. I'm just going to mess with my camera settings a little bit to try and get rid of some of this. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Some of this grain. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with game number 4.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
he's the map man! Skibidi on do do do. Skibidi on do do do. Skibidi on do do do. He's the map man! Ba ba da ba dee da ba ba da bo. Ba 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 da bo. Bee da ba ba da bo. Ba 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 da bo. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kix can do it, so can you.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
yeah.
Okay, so we are back here with game number 3, number 4 even. What we'll do is we'll skip straight into the game because obviously we've got 3 series to go through today. Just to quickly introduce our players, just to go through them. We are going to have, I've still not actually added the win yet, so let's quickly do that. So for BT, we're going to have Last. He's actually up 6-1 at the moment, so an 85% win ratio for him, which is kind of ridiculous. And he's going to be up against Maven. Maven is another new player to the Reds roster, so I'm not really sure how good they are either. So let's get in to game number 4 in our first series of today. It's Last versus Maven. Okay, and this game wasn't played on top versus bottom, so I have a bone to pick over here with these 2 players. But starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have Last fighting from South Korea for Valhalla team in the Cyan. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right of Carthage 3. It is the Green Protoss fighting for Red. It's Maven from location unknown. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find a reference to Warrior telling me that Maven had actually joined Red. So, I don't know where Maven's from. There's possibly a document that I was sent, which I missed the name. But I do understand, Fuji, it is hard to enforce TVB as clan leader. And Lee, I do know who the POG champion is. I'm fairly certain it's... Was it Mike Ross? Or was it Gutex? It's one of them. I can't remember. It's one of the Street Fighter casters though. Yeah, I think it's Mike Ross. No. Is it Mike Ross or Gutex? I can't remember, but it's from their show. Okay, so it is a PvP. We've got a proxy gateway coming in here from last. Now, is Maven gonna scout this? No, doesn't look like he is. Now, there is a probe coming in as well, so maybe that... Oh my god, the mana pylon as well. Okay, so lots of... Whoa, mana pylon is finished. Oh wow, he actually manages to glitch out all but one of the probes, but another mana pylon coming in as well for good measure. And with a Zealot coming in, this could be one of the quickest games in STPL history. A second gateway coming up here for Maven though, so maybe with good micro he can still hold on. It's going to be difficult though, and with a broken economy due to these mana pylons, things are definitely not looking that great. Now the Zealot is in the main now. Luckily enough, this probe is not going to have to worry about this. Oh my god, he is. Oh no! The poor probe! Okay, well, looks like a second pylon, or the first pylon is going to go down, but already losing a good number of probes to the Zealot. 2 going down already. The economy of Maven is struggling a lot here. Looks like due to building the second gateway and trying to get out as many Zealots as humanly possible as quickly as possible, Maven has actually let his economy slide a little bit. We've now got a third, a fourth, a fifth probe going down now. I mean, the Zealots are slowly getting killed off, but last is up at 15 probes against 6. And this is not a position Maven is going to want to be in. So, looks like there is another single Zealot coming into this probe line. Can the double Zealot of Maven hold on to this? Another probe goes down to 6 again. And it looks like last may be clearing us out here with a 4-0. It's going to be really difficult for Maven to come back. Now, I did say that for HCS in the game 1 whiteout, and he managed it. So I don't want to throw in the towel just yet. Until GG is called, anything could happen. But taking so much damage, down to 5 probes now. None of the Zealots, or one of the Zealots I think has gone down, but it's only one of them. Finally a second one has gone down, but 3 probes are there. GG, Maven taps out, and last wins game number 4. Okay, well obviously that's not a good position for Red. They are going to go down 4-0, but they are still doing well in the STPL overall. This will put them 3 for 3, I think, in game wins. So they're still going to sit there in the middle of the table, nothing to worry about. At the end of the day, all they have to do is make it to the top 6 at the very end of the tournament to make it into the playoffs. So it's either top 6 or top 8. I've somehow forgotten what it's going to be, so I will double check that. I'm fairly certain I would have made it top 8, but I need to go and check that out. It's not a problem now. We've still got a while. I think I may have said to Liquipedia it's going to be a top 8, so we'll do that. But let's actually have a look at the results overall. Last, obviously, rounding out that series 4-0 and giving the win over Red. So let me just quickly bring up the results screen, and here we go. Okay, so 4-0 for Valhalla team. Obviously a very strong position for them. Forever beating Ariador, HCS beating Fisheye, DK beating Fake Fin, and last beating Maven. It is of course a sweep, which aren't always the most exciting matchups, but we still have another 2 series coming up right after this. Next one is going to be Rev versus IRK.